Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be making a really fun bread recipe. And to get started on this bread recipe, let me just go over the basic steps that we're going to follow. So we're going to make half the dough chocolate flavored and half the dough plain flavored, and then we'll be braiding the bread together. We'll be layering the bread together to create some really pretty aesthetics as well as flavors. We'll also be layering it with a really nice raspberry and plum jam, which I've already made. So feel free to sub this with any homemade jam that you have, or you can use store-bought jam as well. Either will work, and we'll go over the bread recipe together. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. And let's get started on our bread. So let's divide the dough up. We're going to make one batch of dough plain and one batch of dough chocolate, and the good part about this is that we're going to try and finish everything in one bowl itself, at least the making aspect, and then for the rice we can divide it up and separate it into two different bowls. So we'll start with the plain flavor, and then we can add the chocolate into this bowl later, so it won't make any difference, and the cleanup will be minimal, which is just how I like it. Alright, so to start, first thing we need to do is melt our vegan butter. So I'm grabbing a microwave safe bowl, and I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of vegan butter, and this we can use then for the other batch of dough as well. So let's get started now. For brushing the bread right before we bake it. And now I'm going to melt this in the microwave for about 20 seconds at a time till it's about softened, but we don't want it to be a complete liquid either. Alright, so the butter is nice and semi-melted, semi-softened, which is the place that we want it to be at. And now we're going to start combining all our ingredients together. So we're going to start with our dry ingredients now, setting the butter aside so it comes down to room temperature while we're doing this. So we're going to get about 2 cups of flour here. You can use bread flour, all-purpose, any kind of flour you like. Now I don't believe in complicating recipes, so I am going to keep it fairly simple. But just as a small tip, whenever you're making a baking bread or cake recipe, just make sure that you're pouring your ingredients into your measuring cup instead of putting your cup into your flour. So I'm just measuring it out, 2 cups. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon plus 1/8 teaspoon of yeast. And I'm using instant here, but you can use active dry in the same quantities. And if you're using a new batch, a new packet of yeast, you can put it straight in. You don't really need to activate it, but that's completely up to you. If you want to do that extra step, feel free. Next, we're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Any kind of salt will work, pink salt, table salt. And that's it for our dry ingredients. For our plain dough, the non-chocolate one, I'm just whisking the dry ingredients together. And now straight in this, we're going to add our wet ingredients. So starting with 2 tablespoons of melted vegan butter that we've let cool down slightly. We're adding 3/4 cup of non-dairy milk, and I'm using plain here and a combination of coconut yogurt, again plain, unsweetened, a little less than half, and then I'm just opening up my vegan yogurt. So in place of the vegan milk or the vegan yogurt, you can use water and swap it out completely if you like, but if you want to make it just a little bit extra flavorful, I'd definitely recommend using the vegan milk and yogurt combination, or at least just the vegan milk or just the vegan yogurt. Lastly, we're adding 2 tablespoons of liquid jaggery. You can use maple syrup or any kind of liquid sweetener of your choice, honey if you're not vegan, and that's 2 tablespoons. Alright, now I'm going to attach this to my stand mixer, and we're going to give it a quick little whirl, bring it in together as a dough. Super simple, I'm just going to take this in my hand, give it a few quick kneads. It doesn't need to be super precise, you just want to knead it a little bit, turn it into a nice dough ball, literally just like that. And now all I'm going to do is turn the light on in my oven. So I'm going to put this in my oven to nicely rise and proof, and you can put it in any warm place, any warm and dry place for about 1.5 to 2 hours till it doubles in size. We're going to put this one in the oven. I'll show you guys how to do that, and then we'll start on the chocolate dough. So what I'm going to do is grab a separate bowl now. I'm going to just grease this with a little bit of oil. I have my cooking sprayer. I'm just spraying this guy with some oil. I'm going to pop this dough ball out, plop it in there. I'm going to give this a little spray as well. Cover this with a damp cloth and it goes straight into the oven. So for now I'm just going to cover this and set it aside, and then we're going to put both the dough balls in the oven together. So let's get started on our second chocolate dough. You can literally just wipe this down with a quick cloth. Alright, and let's continue with our second dough recipe. So we'll start again with 2 cups of flour. To repeat, you can use bread flour, whole wheat flour, all-purpose flour or maida, which is what we call it here in India. So it's a slightly different version than all-purpose, but it's fairly close. It's more cakey, it doesn't have as much protein. But with this recipe, that will work just fine as well, so no problems at all. Use whatever kind of flour you have on hand. And we're actually going to go for 1.5 cups because we're going to replace half a cup of flour with cocoa powder in this version. So if I said 2 cups, I take it back. We're going to go for about 1.5 cups, another half, and then half a cup of cocoa powder. Next, we're again going to add 1 plus 1/8 teaspoon of yeast, half a teaspoon of salt, again any kind of salt works, and we're going to whisk it all together. And we're going to add all the wet ingredients in here, which are practically going to be the same, starting with 2 tablespoons of our vegan butter, which we've already melted, 2 tablespoons of liquid jaggery, followed by 3/4 cup of non-dairy milk. So I'm using chocolate milk here since it is a chocolate bread recipe. So I'm just evenly distributing that. So if you just have water, you don't have any non-dairy milk, feel free to replace it. It's not going to make that big a difference. So there we go. And now we're going to attach this again to our stand mixer and bring the dough together. Alright, so the dough has come together nicely. Let's bring it out. Alright, so again, just bringing the dough together. Alright, so perfect. This has come into a dough ball nicely. And I'm just going to place this on a dish for a second so I can oil my bowl. And you can see I've literally just scraped it by bringing the dough together, not doing anything else to it. Grabbing the same cooking spray. You can also just use a brush and some oil and do the same thing, or vegan butter if you want to do that. And now we're going to place this dough. You don't even need to make it perfect, it's fine as is. We're going to place it in the bowl, cover it with a damp cloth and put it in the warm oven. Right, so this is my damp cloth. So use any kind of a thin fabric, that will just make it slightly better than using a heavy one, which might end up dropping downwards and sticking to your dough. The damp cloth basically prevents the dough from sticking to whatever surface you're using to keep the dough moist. So you can use cling film too, but this is just a little bit more environmentally friendly, and then you can also reuse these cloths whenever you want to make your bread. We're going to pop this in the oven now. Alright, so to mention again, my oven is only on in terms of the light being switched on, not the temperature. Nothing else is on other than just the light, and you want to do this for about half an hour before you want to put the dough in to proof. This is just a really safe way of proofing your dough without ending up with dough that has not risen completely because the room temperature or the space that you've put your dough in was not right. So this way you can ensure that your dough is going to end up nice. And now we're going to leave it in the oven for about 1.5 to 2 hours till both the dough balls have doubled in size. Alright, so it's been about 1 hour 15-20 minutes since I put the dough balls in the oven. So again, to recap, the oven is not on, it's just the light that's on, which creates just enough heat to help get that dough to rise nicely. Since I live in a really humid city, the water content in the air is really high, which slows down the process of the rise and the proofing of the doughs. So putting it in the oven keeps it dry and warm as opposed to just warm and humid outside. So we're going to get the dough balls out. Again, to recap, you guys should be putting your dough balls in a warm and dry place for about 1.5 to 2 hours. You want to kind of check after 1 hour 15 minutes to see if the dough has doubled or the dough balls have doubled, and let's go ahead and grab that. I've already checked on it. A little sneak peek was already done, so we're going to go grab the dough and we're going to figure out what to do next. Alright, so once we're done shaping the dough, we're also going to proof it once more. So I would recommend you to keep the light on in the oven, as well as keep your damp cloths handy because we'll be using them again. Alright, so you can see in my clear bowl that the dough has definitely doubled in size, which is perfect. I'm going to set these aside for a second. Alright, so now with the dough, what we're going to do is we're going to make one multi-dough layer loaf, which is kind of going to be a combination of a plain and chocolate dough as planned. And then just as a special little side note recipe, dough shaping variation, I'm going to give you guys a little recipe or rather procedure how to use the same dough to make cinnamon rolls. So we'll be making two, one chocolate and one plain in this little guy, and then we'll be filling up our dough, our loaf in this one. So all I'm going to do now is, using my cooking spray, I'm just going to grease them up. I'm not going to put any parchment paper either. I feel like the dough gets a nice bit of browning, the breads get a nice bit of browning on the edges as well when you don't paper them. So I prefer using these metal ones that are super lightweight as opposed to using glass or ceramic, just because it cooks really nicely in this and it stays fairly lightweight. Anything that's ceramic or glass is really heavy, and then when you add the dough in or whatever kind of bread you're making, it's going to make it even heavier. So this is just an easier, lighter weight option to bake your breads or your cakes in. Alright, so let's continue. We'll start with the plain dough first. I'm just going to sprinkle it with a little bit of flour first, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab the fillings that we're going to be using today. Alright, so I have three types of fillings here. One is just a butter, vegan butter that we melted previously. I've just used the leftover 1 or 2 tablespoons of that, with about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and 2 to 3 tablespoons of cane sugar. Combine that together to make like a cinnamon sugar paste. Then I have my homemade plum and raspberry jam, and I literally just melted some vegan chocolate and I've cooled it down for a bit. And these are going to be the various fillings that we're going to be using for our breads today. Also going to grab some spatulas. Alright, so let's start with the vanilla dough or the plain dough. There's no vanilla flavor in it unless you add vanilla milk, in which case it will be vanilla dough. So you want to make a little puddle of flour on the side and make sure that you're keeping this silicone packet thing aside. You definitely don't want to eat that. Alright, I'm just pushing the dough down, flouring my hands, flouring the dough minimally again to make sure that it doesn't get too sticky. So we're gonna first just I'm gonna do half, almost the whole entire thing in the jam, and one thin strip which is the cinnamon sugar mix, which is going to be my single individual cinnamon roll that I'm going to do on the side, which will also end up being a classic cinnamon roll, basic flavors. I'm just going to make a thin strip on the side. This way I also end up with really clean lines on that roll. Turning it into another little elongated rectangle, pushing the dough mountain to the side. Give this a nice stir. And let's load this guy up. So the reason for me to do these multiple mini recipes within one big one is to show you guys that this dough is really flexible. You can make a bunch of different things with it. You're not bound to making the same exact thing that I have. You can just use this as your basic dough to create your own flavors and versions of your preference. And now I'm just going to start rolling from the side that's farther away from me. Trying to keep it tight, but it does not have to be perfect. Rolling it up and popping it in here. And then the seam side is going to face the edge, and I'm just going to pinch the seam down as well. I'm going to set this aside. Now with the rest of the dough, we're going to do the jam filling, and then we're going to create some long strips of rectangles and then stack it on the top, on one on top of the other. So you might not need your entire jam or whatever filling quantity you've made. You can just bottle it up and save it. So make sure that you're taking it out of the containers and not using spoons and things straight out of containers. Otherwise you're going to have to end up using up all the ingredients. So start spreading it out, and as and when as you need more filling, go ahead and grab some more. It's all about just getting a hang of it, and then you'll be able to feel more comfortable as you're doing this on your own as well. Alright, so just spread out the filling nicely, and we're going to keep this right here. Alright, and now let's continue with the chocolate dough. So I'm going to spread it a little bit more towards this end of the silicone mat. Pressing it down, kind of shaping it in a rectangle from the start, which is going to help me later on once I start rolling it. Just lightly dusting it with so I'm going to do a chocolate and cinnamon combination on this one, so it won't just be all cinnamon. This is my cool melted chocolate. I'm just going to do a again rolling from the end that's away from me, keeping that roll tight, and smooshing the ends, placing it in this individual guy, setting it aside, and let's continue with the rest of the dough. So again, we'll start with half, and another half, and then another half. Take the rows all the way down, and let's stack them up. Again, working quickly, just layer them on. The white does not have to be perfect. Will be a little messy, but that's totally fine. Let's go for the next row. Alright, so now we're going to cut these into little rectangular-ish squares, and we're going to layer them sideways into our loaf tin. Give this a scrape as well, so you're not mixing the chocolate and the plain flavors. It does not have to be precise, guys, but these little things will make a little bit of a difference at the end. Alright, so let's approximately start chopping these guys up. Alright, so little squares. Then here's the tray. We're going to turn this tray slightly sideways to make the layering process easier. And that's the beautifully layered bread, and I'm just going to clean this up now. Alright, so these are our rolls. This is the individual plain and chocolate cinnamon roll, and then this is our beautiful stacked chocolate and plain, sort of like a Black Forest bread, which is what we're going to be calling it. So I'm super excited to see how it turns out. Now all we're going to do to this is cover it with a damp cloth. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one from before, and we're literally just going to cover them up again, and we're going to put them back in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour till they double in size. Alright, so we're just going to put this now back in the oven to proof for 45 minutes to an hour, covered in a damp cloth till it's doubled in size. Alright, so the bread is done proofing now, and we're going to bake it in the oven at 175 degrees Celsius for anywhere between 45 to 60 minutes till it's completely baked. Alright, the bread is now going into the oven, and in about 15 minutes we'll be putting our cinnamon rolls in there as well. Alright, so the cinnamon rolls are also done proofing, and you can see they've doubled in size. This is our chocolate one, and this is a plain one with the jam, and we're going to put it in the oven now. Again at the same temperature for about 30 to 35 minutes. Alright, so the bread's going into the oven, and both the breads should be ready in about half an hour. Alright, so our cinnamon rolls are in the oven, and we're going to continue baking them for another 20-25 minutes. The bread also needs another 20-25 minutes, but what we need to do at this point is pull out the bread and cover it with foil to make sure that it doesn't get too burnt on the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I also have my piece of foil ready on the side. Put it on top. And now really carefully, because it's still super hot, I'm putting it back in the oven. Alright, so to quickly recap, we've put our cinnamon rolls and our bread loaf in the oven at the same temperature, 175 degrees Celsius. The bread goes in for about 45 to 55 minutes. The rolls go in for about 30 to 35 minutes. You don't have to make all the recipes at the same time like I am. I'm just giving you guys a variation and the choice to make either one of the two with the same dough, the same recipes. You can also feel free to make just one type of dough, make one simple recipe, one flavor combination. You don't have to do the mix and match. But if you want to make it a little complicated, you want to incorporate some seasonal flavors in, depending whatever festivals around the corner, you can definitely do that as well. Alright, so soon we'll be taking both the types of breads out of the oven, and we'll cool them down a little bit, and then we'll take a look at them together. Alright, so the cinnamon rolls are out of the oven, and in a couple of minutes the bread should be also done. In the meantime, we're just going to take out that remaining vegan butter, and we're going to lather these rolls while they're hot with the butter. So it's literally just going to melt as they cool down, which is perfect. It literally cuts like real butter. So you can literally just leave the little cubes on, and it'll all melt into itself using the heat. And now we're going to go ahead and get the bread out as well. And these are our two beautiful bread recipes, 100% vegan, healthy and decadent, exactly the way you like it. And I hope you guys make these, give it a go, definitely make them at home, and let me know how it works out. Please drop in a comment if you have any questions or any suggestions for future recipes or workout videos. And this is really fun. I hope you guys are having fun, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned.